And good Tuesday morning. It is Ryan Belmore here, owner and publisher of What's Up Noop. And it is Tuesday, January 31st, just about 9:30 a.m. And we are just about 100 days, 102 days from the Ocean Race Newport Stopover. And joining me to chat about it is Brad Reed, Executive Director of Sail Newport. Brad, how are you?
Coming to Newport. Here it comes again.
There we go. The third edition. And, I just want to start as, doing this for the third time. Does it get any easier?
Well, you have been part of this for the other two times, so you know how many moving parts there are, how much logistical juggling there is, what it takes to run one of these and to attract one of these. Even just to attract the race to come to Newport is a big deal, but doesn't get any easier. It's always fun. There's always great people to work with. We have an incredible squad made up of not just the Sail Newport staff, which is, pulling their, all in one direction on it, but, we've put together a great SWAT team of event managers that are handling many facets of the event, from sustainability to social events to hospitality to on the water. So it's quite a puzzle to put together. As you remember, it doesn't get any easier in this iteration. It's different. It's definitely different. There's not 100 containers to deal with coming from Philadelphia or Baltimore or wherever. This time, most of the structures are being sourced locally. So that's a difference, right? So how you deal with that, how you deal with your vendors. And getting all the temporary buildings built, but it's different. It's not worse or better. It's a little different this time.
I know Newport still stands as the only North American stopover. I know in the past editions, it also standed as one of the smallest cities or ports to host the race. Does that still stand?
Oh yeah, I mean, the Ocean Race goes around the planet. There's 8 or 9 stopovers, including, some pretty big cities in Europe and also, in South America and little Newport. Every single other stopover, and I want to make sure your audience hears this unequivocally, is the contract is signed by the city, a state, a province, or in some cases, the country. Okay, years back with New Zealand and a few others. Sail Newport, this little nonprofit public sailing center over at Fort Adams State Park, works with the state of Rhode Island, but we sign the contract. The 250-page document, I have it somewhere around here, that we sign, it is super detailed, and it's super important because the race wants a very consistent stopover, whether it's in North America, Brazil, China, or Europe. So this little, nonprofit gets together and we put our neck on the line a little bit. So we're really, we as Sail Newport need our local community more than I think most stopovers. Volunteerism, support through sponsorship and partnerships, support through lending boats and lending time and sometimes treasure. So Sail Newport is the managing agent, but we couldn't do it without the state of Rhode Island. We couldn't do it without Fort Adams and DEM, who is our landlord and our partner in helping deliver this race out here on the peninsula. And we certainly can't do it without the general sailing public and the volunteerism that is so great here in town.
It was a big deal when it was announced it was coming for the first time, which seems like forever ago. Huge success, the first edition, second edition. Why do you think the Ocean Race keeps choosing Newport, keeps wanting to come back? And why does Brad Reed and Sail Newport want to keep hosting it?
Well, Newport deserves the Ocean Race, and the Ocean Race deserves Newport. They've found in North America that they got lost in Boston, they got lost in Miami, they got lost in New York. It just was a small little event. In Newport, it is a main event. Rhode Island is not going to get the Super Bowl. Rhode Island's not going to get, the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. We're not going to get these. We can still get our NCAA, regional. We can probably host an NCAA Frozen Four. But this is a Super Bowl type of event. I mean, this is a big event for the sport of sailing. It's one of the top three properties in sailing, maybe four, including the America's Cup, Sail GP, not in any particular order, Vendée Globe, the Ocean Race. They're big deals. So I think it's important for Newport to be in that game. And the reason that the Ocean Race wants to come here is because they feel like the town embraces the race. You actually helped us, market that. You and Kim and Discover Newport embrace the race. Every cab driver, Uber driver, restaurateur, all the wait staff, they all know about the race. They know who the skippers are, and it's important to the race to have these smaller towns as well as going to Hong Kong or Itajai or Genoa in Italy. So the race likes Newport because of the size. There are some inherent problems with Newport. Hotel rooms, we just don't have that many hotel rooms that sometimes that they need. But we can work on that.
I remember working and assisting on the first one and being out at Fort Adams overnight, the entire overnight, as we were expecting boats to come at quite possibly the worst time. I don't know, somewhere between 2 and 5 a.m. Just putting
that was the second time. The first time was 10 a.m., 10 p.m. to midnight. Yeah.
And sending newsletters and sending tweets and social media and just the reaction, from the locals and everybody coming out to welcome the sailors. You could see why not just the race, but also the sailors want to come back to Newport, because people get out there and they're passionate about it and they love it and they support it.
But we use the race for a different purpose. The race is an important global feature. They do a great job with their media. There's all kinds of great stuff to look at. We use the race to showcase that sailing is a sport, and that you can, come down and use the race to maybe get into the sport. Our public access programming at Sail Newport is our primary job, right? It's our job to teach sailing and to introduce and offer the opportunity of sailing and marine education, which, as you know, is a big component of what we do now with both Thompson Middle School, Pell School, and, in competition, Rogers. So it's important for us to use the Ocean Race to then promote what we do for on the other 365 days a year or 4 days a year, which is public access and opportunity to get on this water, on this iconic, historic harbor that we call Newport Harbor.
I don't think it's called a, hold on one second, Ocean Live Park. And it's different from a race village. But maybe we could start there. What's the difference between, it's going to be open May 13th through the 21st. Obviously there'll be in-port racing. There'll be the boats arriving. There'll be the boats departing. What's going to be happening between the 13th and 21st?
A family-friendly festival, including food and all sorts of entertainment. We'll have a live stage with acts that we're getting in from all over the region. There'll be opportunities to do quite a lot of interacting with not only the sailors, but our wonderful partners. We're really proud to announce, I think this is a world exclusive right now. The press release is coming out very shortly. We've partnered with Itajai Hospitality. Itajai Hospitality is one of our premier partners for the stopover in Ocean Live Park. Not only their food trucks and catering, but also their brands of spirits, including their White Squall Gin and White Squall Vodka and Thomas II Rum and their bourbon. So we're really delighted that Itajai Hospitality is going to be such a big feature. We just can't wait. Brendan and his team over at Newport Craft have done a really nice job in helping us create this partnership, and we're delighted to have them on board. We'll also have quite a very extensive food and beverage opportunity, including our other main sponsor, which we can announce today. You are getting world exclusive.
Look at this.
Right.
World exclusive for me.
We're proud to bring on Anheuser-Busch with their two signature brands, Stella Artois and beer, and Neutral, their canned cocktail. So they're also our two main sponsors. We have lots of other partners that we're announcing as we go forward. And but it's a family-friendly festival of food, activities, see different kinds of sailing. There'll be a high school sailing component at one point. There'll be model boat racing. The model boat crew that we do on the weekends here are all fired up to do something exciting. And we'll also have, we're hoping, exhibits of foiling boats and boards, wing foil boards, and also potentially some kite surfing or kiteboarding out in front of the village. So lots of things to see, very colorful. There'll be elements from the race, including Volvo car exhibit, and probably one of the most central exhibits to the entire thing is the 11th hour racing One Blue Voice immersive experience, showcasing their work and the plight of the oceans and how we as humans can really do something special to give the ocean its own voice. The ocean is in trouble. It's in crisis, and 11th hour racing has brought attention to this crisis, and they're going to be putting a very, very elaborate and wonderful exhibit together, including a hologram. School kids are going to be coming, school trips. We have a whole educational component, including the exploration zone, much like we did last time. So something for everybody, moms, dads, aunts, uncles, kids. We got it. We got everything for anybody, including experienced sailing, try sailing. So come early, come often. And it starts on the 13th, which is when the village opens, and goes all the way through the 21st. So that's 2 weekends and 1 week in between. A little shorter than previous times. We've had, I think, 12-day and 14-day stopovers before. This one's an 8-day.
Yeah, and something else I noticed, Brad, is the boats arriving prior to the race village to Ocean Life Park opening.
Well, we were about 8 hours before the opening last time, if you recall. So the boats arrived at, I think, 4 in the morning, 6 in the morning, and the race village opened at 11 that day. So that's, and in many other stopovers, the race village opens after the boats arrive. So what we'll do is it's a softer opening. We'll have certain elements, especially around the docks and the piers, will be open, and there'll be some amenities. We'll make sure all the important things like bathrooms and water stations and all the public security, public safety elements are all in. There may still be some building of stairs and ramps and things to get ready for the grand opening on the 13th. But yeah, we do expect the boats somewhere around May 10th to 12th, with the Saturday, the 13th, as being the opening day.
And the Ocean Race Newport.com for everything local, everything I've been putting on the screen,
Right.
all sorts of great details. The oceanrace.com to follow the actual race, which has begun if you're not following along. Give us your impressions of how the race has been going so far.
Good. Before I get into that, when you go to oceanracenewport.com, you can also go into the About Newport section, and you can see Newport Preferred Hotels. And if you click on that and you go down, these are our preferred hotels because they're our partners. We couldn't even get the race to come to Newport without the help of all these great properties downtown Newport and also in Middletown. So please, if you are listening and you are planning on coming to Newport, come to this page, go to our partner hotels and properties, and see what we can do to get you to stay for the week. Hey, come on,
there you go.
Break the kids out of school, bring them. Anyway, so the race itself, an unreal start, really. They had, what's one thing that's very confusing to some people is they started the race with 2 fleets, and now there's only 1 fleet. The 65s that you remember from the last edition of the race started in Alicante and went to Cabo Verde and then went back. They only did leg 1, and then they're going to do some of the European legs for reasons that it's too long to explain on this show. So the IMOCAs, the 60-footers that Charlie, 11th Hour Racing, and the other boats, those are coming all the way around the world to Newport. Then they go all the way to Europe. So those 5 boats are currently traversing the doldrums, the intertropical convergence zone between the northern and southern hemisphere. Last night, all boats crossed the equator, and they're trying to get as far south as they can. 11th hour took a westerly route, which doesn't seem like it's perfect right now, but hopefully as they pop through the doldrums and get into the southeast trades, they can get into it sooner than the other guys. Doesn't look like they're coming out of it perfectly, but they're not that far behind. They're super fast. 11th Hour Racing is not only a team sponsor, they're one of our co-hosts for the stopover, along with the state of Rhode Island. So we're really rooting for Charlie and the team to pop through and really get into these southeast trades and go to Cape Town.
Excellent, and they'll be here before they know it. A couple ways I know we've talked to a lot of ways that the race wouldn't be possible with, but I know probably what I've witnessed is the number one way this wouldn't be possible is without people volunteering their time.
Right.
And the volunteers and the sponsors and the fans, those three components really make this happen.
Yeah, the volunteers are definitely a leg of the stool that we build here. Volunteers on shore, volunteers on the water. We've put out on that website that you showed earlier. You don't have to go to it. Is a volunteer sign up. You sign up for to get information about volunteering, and then mid-February there's going to be another volunteer module where you get to create your own profile and tell us what you want to do. Do you want to go to do on land, on the water? What is it that you want to do? Pick your spots, pick your times. The more times you pick, the more clothing you get. So if you want to get the full kit, put in some real hours, and we'll make sure you have some good Ocean Race and Sail Newport gear to wear around town. But the Ocean Live Park, you'd mentioned it before. The Ocean Live Park is very similar to the Race Village, right? We used to call it the Race Village. They renamed it because of the sustainability efforts that the race is putting in towards the ocean. The UN resolution on creating some sort of ocean, it's an ocean awareness platform that's never been done before at the UN. So the UN is heavily involved with 11th Hour Racing, with the Ocean Race, to really showcase the sustainability elements of the race, what we're trying to focus on, et cetera, et cetera. So Ocean Live Park, but couldn't happen without the help of 11th Hour Racing and all they've done, not only for our sport, but also helping the stopover get to the point where it is right now.
What are we hoping for? 2 million this go around, Brad?
No. We don't want 2 million people. We'd be okay with 131,000 people, which would be more than the first one. A lot of it depends on the weather. I mean, it's a shorter duration. So we're looking at somewhere between 90 and 100,000 people, we think, because it's a shorter duration. We're hoping for perfect weather. In fact, I know it's going to be perfect weather this time. Last time was a little rainy. The import race day was drizzly and kind of a raw easterly. But if you remember, Sunday, the restart day, started out super foggy. We were wondering if we could even start the race inside by Fort Adams. But the clouds broke, the fog cleared, and we had a perfect day.
It is a great event, and we are lucky to have it here in Newport. And 9-day festival, family fun, interactive exhibits, exciting sailing action. As I said in the last two races, you don't have to be the biggest sailing fan. You don't even have to be a sailing fan to go and find something that you'll enjoy at Ocean Live Park and while the race happens. Before we started, we were chit-chatting a little bit. And tomorrow is a big day in the Brad Reed world and Sail Newport. And, I got to call over to the governor and see if he'll do it. But tomorrow should be Brad Reed Day.
No,
25 years tomorrow at Sail Newport.
Yeah, it started on Groundhog Day in 1998. The board of directors, I guess, took a chance on a 33-year-old kid to help run Sail Newport. And 25 years later, I'm just, as Evan Smith always says, I'm going to steal his line. I'm the head coach of an amazing team. So we have quite a group of board presidents, board members, staff through the years. 55 staff members in the summertime, and 12 of us keeping the lid on things here in the winter time. So I'm really proud of the time I've had here, and look forward to more.
And just some of the ways that, some of the exciting things happening at Sail Newport right now that people can get involved, or, after the Ocean Race, what people can look forward to from Sail Newport this year.
Well, the days that are probably the most anticipated days of the year are the first day that Pell shows up again in the spring and the fall. Our Pell fourth grade program, every fourth grader during their school day spends a couple, 3 hours here, 16 weeks a year, 1 day a week. Every kid gets a chance to go sailing, and we integrate it with their science program. That is just an unbelievable day. So we're all anticipating that. Please come down and check that out. Watch the kids as they go sailing. It's tremendous. Our standard.
You've brought that up. You've brought that up many times. We've talked about that, whether on the radio or this way. And I'll never forget. You talking about these students and getting them out on the water for their first time in their community, and them having the opportunity to see where they live from the water and to put their hand down and touch the water. It is an incredible opportunity, and I think one of the best programs that are out there to get those kids, whether they like it, hate it, love it. You never know what you're making the next great Charlie Enright, or who you might be making when you bring them out there. But I think it's such a great opportunity.
Yeah, so that's a big day, and then we've stretched that into what we call the Marine Education Exploration Program, which is headed up by our Courtney Kingsley, who's our education coordinator here at Sail Newport. She brings the fourth grade thing can't be a one and done. There's got to be a way to continue that process of opportunities around the water. So she really works hard with Thompson to make sure that the students who come for that exploration program, which is an after-school program, are seeing all kinds of different marine trades. We have people come in and talk about what they do. We look at a boat and we ask, what does this boat look like? What is this boat? And then people are like, oh, it's a sailboat. No. It's got electricity. It's got plumbing. It's got a diesel engine. It's got sails. It's got masts. You have all these different vocations that are tied up in building that thing. So Courtney's doing a really good job of not only enhancing the education component of what sailing can offer, but also offering access to some marine trades opportunities that the kids just don't know about. And so we live in this wonderful ecosystem of boat building and boat service and marinas and on the water fishing, launch driving. Let's show the opportunities so we have more job opportunities for these children as they get into their teenage years.
And I've put it on the bottom of the screen there, but Sail Newport is sailnewport.org. You can go on there, find out about all the regattas coming up, youth sailing, membership. Probably most importantly, Sail Newport is Rhode Island's Public Sailing Center, a nonprofit. If you like what Sail Newport is doing, what Brad's saying today, you can certainly support in many different ways as well.
And we're doing a big push this week. We have a matching grant situation that we're trying to fulfill, and we're close on our endowment. Part of our endowment is named after Dr. Robin Wallace. So we're going to be pushing this week. If you have any ideas of whether you'd like to contribute to our 501c3 through the Robin Wallace Endowment, give us a call. Give Eve a call, myself a call right here, 401-846-1983. And Ryan, thanks for always putting us on the air for these events, whether it's the Folk and Jazz or any of the other big events that are happening in Newport. Newport is an event center, and thanks for publicizing these things. It's very important.
Of course. And we will, I'll touch base with you and probably have you back on. We're 102 out now, and maybe a couple weeks, as I'm sure there'll be more sponsors, more events, more activities, more things to do, more reasons to get excited about this upcoming event as we get closer. So I appreciate it, Brad.
No sweat. And last but not least, it's actually first and foremost, you mentioned the governor and the House Speaker, Senate President, and House Finance Chair Abney. they have been such important advocates for this event, for the Ocean Race Stopover, and for Sail Newport. So we couldn't do this without Marvin and all the people upstate on Smith Hill. That, you know, some people look over like, sailing. Why are we helping with a sailing event? Well, because Rhode Island is sailing. Rhode Island is the ocean state, and you know, whether it's on the quarter or on the license plate, this is us. This is our. You know, this is us.
Yeah, and I encourage anybody, whether you've been sailing, never been sailing, don't know anything about sailing, check out the Ocean Race Village, because it's Ocean Live Park, because it's really neat event to see and to learn about and experience sailing in many different ways. You can even get out and try sailing if you so choose during the time it's open. So, Brad, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today, and we'll do it again as we get closer.
Sure. Thanks.
Appreciate it, Ron. And congratulations and happy anniversary.
Thank you.
All right. That is Brad Reed, Sail Newport. A couple websites again, sailnewport.org for everything to do with Sail Newport. And then the Ocean Race Newport Stopover is at theoceanracenewport.com. And then if you want to follow the race, it's just theoceanrace.com, where you can find all that information and much more. Many ways to get involved, many things to be excited about from all of the organizations, and you can check that out now. I want to thank Brad for joining us, and we will chat again real soon.